Houthi militia continues to suppress journalists and freedom of speech. According to them, a reporter writing against them is more dangerous than an armed enemy. This report has more details.
The Yemeni press has lived the aggression from the Houthi militia since they took control of the capital Sana'a in September 2014. From the first moment, the suppression of journalists, the closure of media institutions, and the arrest of journalists were among the priorities and the target of Houthi rebels in terms of taking control. In the Houthi prisons, one of the prisoners who was near the journalists told us the horrific things the journalists are subjected to in the Houthi prisons.
Journalists and people who've been kidnapped are being tortured. None can imagine how people are being tortured from hitting and hanging. They are driving them to death slowly. The pain is beyond description.
The Houthi militia used all kinds of violations against journalists, including arrests, enforced disappearance, torture, physical attacks, and the issuance of death sentences against them, such as the journalist Abdel Khalik Omran and Tawfiq al-Mansouri. Houthis in addition killed journalists in an attempt through which the militia sought to deter journalists from revealing its violations and crimes against Yemenis to the world.
Journalists are the main target for Houthis. For them, a pen is more dangerous than a gun. I used to hear them say all the time that a journalist that writes and reports their actions is more dangerous than someone with a gun that fights them. There are 13 journalists kidnapped by Houthis and Al-Qaeda. Two of the kidnapped journalists, we and the families know nothing about their whereabouts. Any peace truce requires release of journalists.
Serious violations and crimes committed by the Houthi militia against journalists in Yemen, where Human Rights Report documented from 2014 to 2021 the killing of more than 71 journalists and the injury of 89 others, and the militia destroyed more than 25 media outlets, which was reflected in the World Press Freedom Index. For the year 2021, Yemen ranked 169 out of 180 countries in violations against journalists, which made press freedom in Yemen at its worst stage.